Good evening. Oh, that's scary. Ooh. 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 Okay. No, wait. There we go. It's looking a little not good. Hi, good morning. If you're watching on the replay, hi, nice to see you again. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I got my hair blown out yesterday for Halloween, but it's still looking a little wild. We don't want to have my hair down while I'm baking. Okay, cute. Sorry, I should have done that before I started the camera, but then you wouldn't have been able to see all that. So it's November 1st. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. It's officially, is it officially fall yet? I guess so, right? Yeah, because winter starts in December. Right? December, January, February, March. Yeah, and then spring is in March. Sorry, seasons are things. I went to a fun Halloween party last night. I took the Wicked cupcakes that I was practicing this frosting on. I need to clean up really quick before we get started today, but I figured I would fire up the live, let people trickle in while we got started, and then we'll get started with today's baking adventures. So for today, it's the beginning of November. I'm 20 days away from my photo shoot, so I need to have macro-friendly sweet treats, little treats. And the idea of the Baking for My Future Boyfriend series is that, well, if I'm going to be honest, I do have a crush on somebody. And they are quite fit. And so I'm trying to manifest either them or another cutie like them as my future boyfriend. And for somebody who's in the gym a lot, even though they eat a lot, they can't just be eating just anything. And so I decided to start planning recipes that were macro friendly for somebody who's in the gym. And I like to work out too, so it works out for me too. So today's edition, today's episode of Baking for My Future Boyfriend. Well, I have a few options, but I think I already picked the one that I want to do. But if you're already in the chat and you want to let me know, I still haven't started anything, so we're still in the cleanup and setup stage, so we can still pick out of these options. So I have 3 recipes that, oh, hola, buongiorno, buongiorno. Oh, I get my Italian and my French mixed up. Comment allez-vous? Is that French? Is that Italian? Hi. Okay, so we have 3 options for today, although I kind of picked one out already. We have, wait, these are the same recipe. Hold on. We have 3 options for today. We have, where is it? Sorry, these are all the recipes I've been working on. Okay, so there's 3 that I have in mind. There we go. Found it. Okay, great. Also, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I try to be nice. My plan is that all these recipes that I've been working on, that I'm saving and slowly developing and trying to make sure that I can replicate them, I will be turning into recipe cards and sharing them on my Patreon at every level. So even if you sign up for a free level on the Patreon, you can get access to the recipe cards once they're done. So patreon.com/MeMeCherry Productions. But I also share them live here, so you can always just watch the replay and get the recipe. But I am usually developing them live, so I'm only gonna share them and type them down and share them once I know that that I've been able to make them a few times and I can easily replicate the recipe, because then I know that if I can follow the recipe and make it the same way a few times, then I know you'll be able to. Okay, so I have a few ideas for my Baking for My Future Boyfriend series. And so the one that I picked out for today is raspberry pistachio protein bars. And we basically are going to take the 9x9 pan and make a batter of protein pistachio, and then on top layer it with the raspberry protein mix. Swirl them, bake them lightly, and then cut them into mini bars. So that's option one. So raspberry pistachio protein mini bars. Our other option for today, similar but different, pistachio raspberry glow bars. And these have chia in them and maple. Actually, no, they both have, are these just different versions of the same thing? They are, actually. So these are the same thing, but just different versions. Again, I've been working on these recipes. Yes, pistachio. So raspberry pistachio bars. Then another option that we have is espresso molten mini bars. They're kind of like mini brownie bites, but with espresso. And then the last option is chocolate chia brownie bites. And again, I'm trying to make things that are protein friendly, because we gotta make sure that we keep those gains, and we want it to be macro friendly because we work very hard in the gym. So these are not like the most indulgent bakes. Sometimes I make cakes, sometimes I make cupcakes. That's not what we're making today. Today we're trying to make things that like you would maybe find at like a high-end gym at like their snack bar. And I'm already like designing labels and stuff. I really am trying to make this maybe a product someday. I call it Coach Fuel. But given the reaction to pistachio, I think that's the one that we're gonna do today. So first things first, we're gonna make pistachio paste. Now, I have some already, but I don't think it's enough, because we need 180 grams, and that's not 180 grams. So we're going to make some pistachio paste first. First things first. But first, I have to finish cleaning up because I can't concentrate when things are messy. And so, right now we're just gonna chit chat a little bit while I put things away. So, how's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good Saturday. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Anything fun that you're doing this weekend? Feel free to let me know in the chat. I went to a Halloween party last night. Today is a quiet stay-at-home kind of day, because tomorrow I'm going out again to another party. But no, tomorrow's not really a party. Tomorrow is a sound bath experience. So that I'm excited about. It'll be kind of like a Zen experience. And then I think there's like music afterwards. Okay, great. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Okay. This is feeling way less chaotic, which makes me very happy. Now, let's empty out our dishwasher. All the things that we're gonna need in a little bit. What are your plans for the weekend? What are you all up to? I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Bear with me. Bear with me, please. I always forget to clean up before I go live, and then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta clean up. But it's okay, you guys get to hang out with me. It's like you're hanging out in the kitchen with me, right? 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 Okay. Let me see. Let's start looking at what we need to do. So I think the first thing I need to do is make our pistachio paste. So let's start doing the things that we need to do for that while I clean up. So I have dry roasted pistachio kernels. And we need 220 grams. We're gonna get our scale. And then bring it down so you can see. Okay, so I like to have containers that are the same weight and the same size, because sometimes you have to swap them out on your scale to get the measurements right. So we get our little container down, 220 grams of pistachio. There we go. Almost a bag. All right, I gotta get more pistachio. Good morning. Today we're making raspberry pistachio protein bars. So, but first, Julie Chen, but first, we have to make our fresh homemade pistachio paste, because I mean, do what you can, right? If you're short on time and you you'll see. I'll show you the difference. This barely smells like pistachio. It's pre-made pistachio butter. And look at how oily it is. And like, it barely smells like pistachio. So I've baked with this, and it didn't give me the pistachio flavor that I needed. So I've started making my own pistachio paste. It's also not butter, it's not nut butter, so it's not pistachio butter. So I mean, there is a little bit of a difference in terms of like the processing, but still, what I end up with, actually I can show you with the magic of television cooking. Look at the difference. Look at this difference. This is homemade pistachio paste, and this is pistachio butter that you get at the store. What would you rather, right? Me? This. But what I'm gonna do, I'm skipping it this time. We're going, I was debating taking this and using it as a base for the pistachio paste, but I'm not gonna do that this time. I'd read exactly, better fresh pistachio homemade. Yes, exactly, you get it. But I'm actually not even gonna bother with that. I'm gonna keep saving this for something that it can be better used for. But not today. Not today. Okay, so, and yeah, so this is what we're gonna end up with. It's just that I don't have enough, so we have to make more. Okay, so we have our 220, let me put my recipe here, please. So we have our 220 grams of pistachio. Now that I did this, let me do another dishwasher unload, and then we'll do 1 and 1. And then that way it all gets done. Okay, let me not stab myself with the knife. Okay, so now we need 15 grams, and it says maple syrup or honey. I have maple syrup, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but we're gonna see. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Oh my gosh, I went to the most fun Halloween party last night. I just have such amazingly talented and creative friends who just have so much fun with their art. You know what? That's only a little bit left. We're just gonna go for it. Because putting 5 grams of maple syrup back into the fridge just feels not right. Okay. So now we have 25 grams of maple syrup. And it was asking for 10 grams of neutral oil, but we're just gonna call it that extra 10 grams of maple syrup. And then a pinch of sea salt. And then the tiniest splash. Oh, thank you. The tiniest, like a pinhead of almond extract. Just a touch. Okay. Now, we're gonna pull some more things out of our dishwasher. So yes, so this recipe is gonna use fresh raspberry paste. Pistachio paste. My brain is thinking ahead. It's also gonna use fresh raspberry glaze that we made yesterday. And actually, let's make sure that we have enough. We need 80 grams of raspberry puree or crushed freeze-dried raspberries, which we have. So we can always even out the rest of what we need with freeze-dried raspberries because we have those. But we also have raspberry glaze that I used yesterday. I made Wicked, like the movie Wicked themed mini cupcakes, and they were raspberry and pistachio mini cupcakes, and so we made fresh raspberry glaze for that. So let's see how much we have here. It might be just barely enough. We need 80 grams. 50. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is take an additional 30 grams of freeze-dried raspberries and add it to the glaze, and that will be our 80 grams. I have enough. Okay, that's 11.1. I got lucky. One bag left in the pantry. I gotta get more. Okay, so 11.1, and we want 30 grams. Okay, great. Now we're gonna take this. A little bit of parchment paper, just like this. Just like so. Now, I could have used a bigger piece. And just like that. Crush it. Get see. Just an excuse to flex. Okay. So now, very carefully, work. Sorry, I have a song that's stuck in my head. Okay. And very carefully, just like that, we have okay, come on. Great. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay. I could have done it all by hand, but then it ends up all on my fingers. And that way we just have to do a few big ones. But now we have all that beautiful freeze-dried raspberry and our raspberry glaze. So I'm gonna mix that together to give us our raspberry base. Ooh, again, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Okay. What can I say? I like to work out. Actually, I was supposed to work out this morning, but I was too tired from the party and I wanted to still come live and bake. But maybe what I'll do is a light little Pilates workout this afternoon. Just that way I can still I can still lock in a workout. So I'm gonna take that glaze and that powder. Just take a second to mix it all together. And it just, now this kind of becomes like a bit of a paste. Just like so. Like that. And now this is a bit of a raspberry paste. It smells so good. Okay. Like that. Ooh, smells so good. Okay, great. So now, no. So now, let's finish cleaning out our dishwasher so that we can now, all these dirty dishes that are starting to accumulate, they can just go into the dishwasher. So, what else is going on? So yeah, so last night I went to a fun party. It was a night of 1,000 Gladyses, based on the Gladys character from the movie Weapons. And it was so fun because I dressed up as Sabrina Carpenter, but so many people came dressed as Gladys, and it was so fun to see. My best friend was the one that put on the party. So it's always so affirming to see your talented friends be talented and be successful, and that a silly little meme idea of a party was so successful. I mean, I left early. I got there at 9, and I think I came home at like 10:30 because my feet were killing me from my shoes. And when I left the venue, the door was like, the line was down the street. Like, people were lining up to get into the party for like almost a block. So that is fun. And then one of the people that entered the contest, they went all out. Like, they did like the horror, like special effects makeup of the Gladys witch character, and it was so good. As soon as I saw her, I knew she was gonna win, and that's exactly who won the costume contest. And there was a cash prize. I think it was $200. So she put in her work and she earned her little $200. Not little, she earned her $200. In this economy, $200 is big. In any economy, $200 is big. And so that was fun. But I just, now that I'm sober from alcohol, it's just, I don't know, being out in social settings when people are drinking, after a couple of hours, it just kind of gets a little bit like, meh. And so I don't really stay out at parties. If I'm not working the party, like if I'm working the event, obviously I'm there for the whole event. But it's different because if I'm working the event, I have a purpose. It gives me something to do. It gives me something to distract myself. I don't have to feel so awkward, which is what, alcohol ultimately is so much in nightlife. It's a social lubricant. And when I first started my sobriety journey, I struggled a lot at parties, especially parties where I really didn't know anybody. I would feel so awkward and shy. Like, people don't believe me when I tell them that I'm shy because you see me doing this, right? But like, this is just me in the kitchen talking to myself, really. And so it's not the same as like being out in a social setting with like strangers. But now that I am almost 2 years free of alcohol, I'm in California. So I'm not sober, but I don't drink. And so it's been almost 2 years. And now I can go out and like be okay in social settings and not feel so anxious without alcohol. And venues are starting to be better about offering non-alcoholic options. But that's another thing, is like, so many venues are so behind in terms of like society these days and like what society needs for socialization and things like that. And alcohol just is not that girl like it used to be. And these bars, there's so many amazing non-alcoholic options. Like, there's this brand, I just ran out, but I usually have them. There's this brand called Recess that makes these like magnesium sparkling waters, and it's like, like a non-alcoholic little like White Claw or something like that. And it kind of like, you still feel, and because of the magnesium, you get that kind of like calming effect that you would in theory get from alcohol. And so there's so many non-alcoholic options out there, and it just blows my mind. But then there's other people, entrepreneurs like Carl Radke from Summer House, who I had on my podcast. Feel free to check out my podcast, Series of Fortune Events. That was a great episode with Carl Radke. We talked about his soft bar cafe that he just recently opened this summer. And so he opened a non-alcoholic bar and cafe where they sell functional drinks. It's not just like, oh, here's a soda. Like, no, their drinks are very well curated and very well thought out for a person who's not drinking alcohol but still wants to have a good time. Anyways, get with it, people. All right. Now that we have a clean kitchen and I can think better, we can finish making our pistachio paste. So we have our pistachios, we have our maple syrup. We're skipping the oil, and we have the sea salt. So now in a food processor, that's the one thing I haven't done yet, is make it in the food processor. Because it's such a pain in the butt to pull out, but you know what? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it today. We're gonna take the time. We have specific little robots in our kitchen that serve very specific little robot tasks. This has been sitting in my pantry for so long. It's covered in dust. I think I've used it twice, but this is good. Gives me a reason to use it. So let's clean this out a little bit. But this is good because I don't like having things sitting around not being used. And I need to use this food processor more. So this is good. It gives me a reason to use it. Okay, and then now, I haven't used this in so long. Okay. All right. Pray for me. Okay. Let's keep the power off. Then let's put our pistachios in there. Let's pour the maple syrup and that little bit of salt. Who's excited? I haven't used this in a long time. No alcohol is great. You're doing great. Thank you. We have a lot of non-alcoholic beer in the UK, like zero alcohol Guinness outsells alcoholic Guinness sometimes. I'm telling you, people need to get on the non-alcoholic train. I really should look into investing into some companies that are really doing these things that like I feel so passionate about, because, you know, another thing that I was talking about with a friend of mine in terms of like, in my opinion, right? This is only my opinion, but this is from my life experience with my family and my friends. What I think is happening also is that mental health is so present in conversations now. And I feel like, again, in my opinion, sadly, many of our ancestors were dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, mental health issues, and all they knew to do was go to the bar or go to the fridge and grab a beer. And they were numbing. I know that was my personal experience. Once I started realizing, you know, what was happening with me, it's just that I was numbing anxiety and depression. And I believe that family members of mine that have struggled with alcohol were also doing the same. Again, I can only speak for myself. And so I say all that to say that now we have more conversations about mental health, and people are seeking out therapy. People are seeking out, yes, people are seeking out, you know, other options besides alcohol to deal with their anxiety, with their sadness. And so I think that's also led to the decline in alcohol consumption, because less people are feeling the need to turn to that to numb their pain. They're finding other ways to cope. And also with cannabis being legal in more places, I prefer cannabis over alcohol. Again, I'm not sober. I don't call myself sober because I do consume cannabis products. But alcohol, removing alcohol from my life was one of the best things that I could have done. But that's just me. I can only speak for myself. Anyways, I'm gonna, hold on, off my soapbox. Back to pistachio paste. Okay, so we have in our food processor our raw pistachios, our maple syrup, and a little bit of salt. And so now it says food processor for 5 to 8 minutes, scraping down sides until creamy and slightly glossy. So that's what we're looking for. So why are you not working? What is happening? What am I doing wrong? What is happening? Am I doing something wrong? What is happening? I've literally used this thing like 3 times. Would it stop working because I haven't used it in a long time? Okay, I have, this is in there. This is on. Get it. It's like it doesn't want to lock in to place. What am I doing wrong? Oh, there we go. Okay, okay, okay. Women in STEM. Hey! I had it backwards. But see, problem solving. Problem solving. Scrape down our sides. Problem solving. Women in STEM. That's what I always like to say when I can, either when I do solve a problem, or if I can't solve a problem, I'm like, oh, I'm not womening in STEM correctly. If you don't know what women in STEM means, it's women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So anytime I do something relatively brain related, I'm like, women in STEM. Yes. Women in STEM. Okay. See, we fixed it together. We solved that problem together. Can you tell I haven't used this in such a long time? But this is gonna give me proper pistachio paste. I've been making it in the Ninja blender so far, and I think this is gonna give me that Ooh, you know what? I think I am. Let's go ahead. I'm feeling a little funky. Let's go ahead and repurpose some of this to give it a little more smoothness. And that way this starts getting used. So let's throw a little bit in here. And this way it doesn't go to waste. We don't want to waste. Okay, I think this is good. Okay, scrape down the sides. I got this teeny tiny spatula and it's so handy, so handy. Okay, back. Boom. We're so close. We are so close. This is, oh, I wish you could smell this. Oh, it smells so good. We are so close to full paste. There's just a little bit of chunkiness here, but I think this last round of pulsing is gonna get us there. Does need a tiny bit of oil. Just a touchy touch. Just a little touch of oil. Just a touchy touch. Just a touch. Just a little bit of avocado oil. Just a touch. Just a touchy touch. Scraped down one last time. Get in there. Get in there. This smells so good. Okay. And you know what? We're just gonna mix it with our paste that we had before. So I'm just gonna throw that in there. We're just gonna put this all together. And actually could use, by looking at this can use some more blending. So we're almost there, but not quite. Almost there, but not quite. Like there's like a ball of paste forming. Ooh! Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Hold on, let me put on a glove to show you. This is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that beautiful pistachio paste. I wish you could smell it. Okay, I'm gonna break this up and we're just going to put this through Just one more. Ooh, it looks so good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. We have reached our goal. Let's take our thank you blade. I like to say thank you to all of our little robots and our robot parts for working hard. So thank you, blade. Thank you for all your hard work. Okay, so now we're gonna take all this beautiful product right out of here. So let's scrape down the sides, all of these little corners, because we're gonna get all of this. All right, so look at this beautiful. Now, let's do the comparison again. Store-bought. Ooh, one-handed, hey. One-handed, one hand. Store-bought pistachio butter or homemade pistachio paste. What would you rather bake with, right? Look at the color. Look at that color difference. All right, so let's take our gorgeous, beautiful, freshly made pistachio paste out of our Cuisinart. Oh, I wish you could smell it. Okay. Now we have our freshly made pistachio paste. We have our raspberry kind of paste moment. And let me see. Let's see what is left for our recipe. Let's clean up a little bit. But now I know. So, okay, in case you're watching this and you struggle bust like me with the Cuisinart food processor, the bowl handle locks in front, but it doesn't lock while the top is on. So you have to lock it in place without the top on. Then once it's locked in place, then you can lock the lid on. That's what I was struggling with. I also had it backwards. I had the handle facing the back. The handle faces the front. So if you are like me and you have a Cuisinart food processor that sits in your pantry for a long time and you forget how to use it, it's okay. We're all there. We all struggle. Okay, great. I'm glad I had that. All right. Let's see what I'm tired now. I'm tired. That was a lot of work. Okay, let's see. So, we haven't even preheated the oven. I think I'm going to take a break. I think this was main ingredient prep round number 1. I think what I'm gonna do now is clean up this mess, because before I start making more of a mess, I need to clean up this mess that I just made with the pistachio paste. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna clean up, take my doggy for a walk, have a little something to eat, because I'm starting to feel my energy dip a little bit because I didn't have breakfast and it's almost noon. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna have some lunch. Take my doggy for a walk, and then I'll come back probably in about an hour or so, and we'll finish making the raspberry, oh, that's backwards. We'll finish making the raspberry pistachio protein Coach Fuel bars. So yeah, if you haven't hit subscribe, hi, I'm MeMeCherry. I like to go live and bake. I also have a podcast. Sometimes I also rhinestone things. I rhinestoned my Halloween costume for this year. Let me show you. Let me show you because it's still here. I just took it off last night. For Halloween, I was Sabrina Carpenter in her Short and Sweet tour when she comes out with the little towel. So I had this corset custom made, and then I rhinestoned it all myself by hand. So sometimes I go live and rhinestone things. And yeah, I like to think of myself as a cozy, positive corner of the internet. Hi, hello, hello. So if you like cozy little hangs where we hang out and bake and chit chat, what I'm gonna do now is go walk my dog and get some lunch in me, and then I'll come back and we'll finish the pistachio raspberry protein. It's such a mouthful, just like he is. Sorry, did I just say that? Raspberry pistachio protein bars, part of my Coach Fuel line that I am developing, baking for my future boyfriend. So I'm gonna go ahead, see, she's right here. She's like, Mommy, are you gonna take me for a walk? So I'm gonna take her for a walk. I'm gonna have lunch. I'll probably be back in about an hour or so, and then we'll be back to bake our protein bars. Till then, if I see you later, I hope to see you later. If I see you tomorrow, I hope to see you tomorrow. And if I don't see you again, I hope you have a great life. I hope to see you soon. Bye.